Thank you for coming today as we mark this historic step towards making our city ensure that every city employee feels safe and empowered. I'd like to thank Councilmember Teresa Mosqueda, who could not be here today, but we talked yesterday. She is so happy that we were able to get this legislation through, and I want to thank her for her ongoing commitment for all workers in the city of Seattle. I also really want to thank all the incredible members of our anti-harassment IDT. We don't have all of them here, but the ones we have, thank you so much for everything you've done. It's amazing. We would not have this new office were it not for the city employees standing up and saying we needed a better, more safe, more just workplace. I also want to thank the Silence Breakers, the Coalition of Affinity Groups Against Racial Harassment, our race and social justice affiliates, and of course, all of our city employees who took the time to give us input and who every day show up to make our city a better place. From day one, it has been one of my top priorities to make sure that our city employees work in an environment that allows them to feel safe and comfortable, but also to thrive and embrace the great opportunities that they have. After administering a race and social justice survey to the city, the data was clear. We already knew what we had heard anecdotally from the city employees. One, a significant percentage of our city employees have endured harassment, discrimination, and other forms of misconduct here at the city of Seattle. For too long, these systemic problems have not been treated equally and have been allowed to linger. Over the past years, we worked comprehensively through the IDT. And I have to tell you, I am so thankful and grateful as mayor for the people who were not just willing to show up to do that hard work, but who came and opened themselves up to be vulnerable and share stories of their own trauma or those that they knew and loved and supported. Only through that kind of courage and bravery were we able to really surface all the issues that our city has faced and to come with a way to try to make sure that we do everything we can to empower our city employees and to make them feel better. I will tell you that the patterns of discrimination are probably the starkest for women of color, not just in our country, in our region, but here in our city. And we know that we have to do better because those women face both gender discrimination, which is profound and real, and racial discrimination. If we want to truly combat harassment and discrimination, we have to work on at least two fronts. First, in the short term, we have to do all we can to make this city a safer place for all employees. Second, we have to have long-term plans that really get to the root causes of what holds back and the barriers that exist for our employees. Particularly if we are not honest about the long-term impacts of systemic institutional racism, we cannot begin to dismantle it and actually provide true opportunity. We're taking a step here today that is not a final step, but it is an important step along the way. By creating the Office of Employee Ombud, we are listening to our employees who said, we need a safe place to go. We need someone we can talk to that can counsel us on what our options are, what our routes are, that we feel like we really know something short of, as soon as you file the complaint, it puts a whole range of things in motion. When we established the Anti-Harassment IDT, I think we were hopeful that we would be able to take some great steps. This step is such a critical piece of that, and there is no way we could do it but for the bravery, courage, and hard work of all the employees who participated in that IDT. But even before that, for the bravery and hard work of those employees who had suffered employment discrimination, harassment, and bullying in their jobs in Seattle and felt they had nowhere to turn and no one was listening to them. So today, this is a step to say we have heard you. We will make sure that we set this office up, that we have a safe place for people to go, and we will continue to listen to the voices of employees as we work through the next steps that we must take to make sure that our city can set an example for what a workplace should look like. One that everyone can bring their whole self to work, know they will be respected, know that they can advance based on their merit and have opportunity. Organizations across the country have been grappling with this issue a lot, but it's the people who have felt and lived this, who have suffered the most, but who also gave us the greatest insights to create this office. So this shows us that our work to establish the Ombud is that it is really important for government to listen, not just to the people of the city as our stakeholders, but to our employees who do that hard work day in, day out. They are really what can be called public servants. I'd like again to thank Councilmember Mosqueda, the members of the IDT, the Silence Breakers, the Coalition of Affinity Groups Against Racial Harassment, our race and social justice affiliates, and of course, all the great city employees. This is a great step, but make no mistake about it, we're not done. We have to keep improving. As this office is stood up and given the resources needed, we have to continue to looking across the city at all the things we do to make sure that we're removing systemic barriers to people feeling like they have a place to work that is not just safe, but is fair and just. So now, we got to make it law. Thanks to you guys. It is now the official law of the City of Seattle to take a step towards greater opportunity equality for its employees. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thanks for everything you've done. Good work. More to go. Thank you so much. It's really great. Thank you. Thanks for your work. You guys can steal pens.